microcomputer. You can see here there is a input devices, there is a microprocessor. As I am tell you, in the microcomputer the part of microprocessor are involved. So this is a part of a microprocessor. We have a input devices, we have a microprocessor. In the microprocessor we have ALU, that is arithmetic logical unit. Next we have a control unit, next we have a register array, and we have a memory unit, and we have a output devices. So what the block diagram shows, when the user gives some input you will get a output. But it's not only input and output, the sum of the operation are performed in your CPU or in the microprocessor. So these are, that means you are sending some information that can be a logical, then it provides us some control that can be stored in some array. So for this we require a memory, that's why we required a memory unit, and after that we will get some output. So that's why we required output devices. Okay. So I will tell the history about the microprocessor. What are the history of the microprocessor? In 1971, the first microprocessor Intel 4004 was invented. A microprocessor is also known as a central processing unit, in which number of peripherals and fabricated on a single chip. इसका मतलब क्या है? माइक्रोप्रोसेसर का मतलब है कि आपके जितने भी पेरिफेरल डिवाइसेस है और एग्रीगेटेड डिवाइस है वो एक ही सिंगल चिप पे बने गए. It has a ALU, that means the arithmetic logical unit. It have a control unit, register, bus system, a clock to perform a computational task. So I will tell about the little about the microprocessor. A microprocessor is a computer processor that incorporates the function of a central processing unit on a single integrated circuit. मतलब पूरा जो आपका काम है वो एक ही चिप पे आपका हो रहा है, एक ही चिप पे इंक्लूडेड है. So that's why it is called as a microprocessor. The microprocessor is a multi-purpose cause it have a clock-driven, register-based digital integrated circuit that accepts the binary data as the input, process it according to instructions stored in its memory, and provide result as the output. Microprocessor contain both combinational logic as well as the sequential digital logic, जो हम लोग ने previous chapters में देखा, that is your combinational circuit and sequential circuit. Microprocessor operates on numbers and symbol represented in the form of binary number system. The integration of whole CPU on a single or few integrated circuit using very large scale integration. Okay, so the integrated circuit processor are produced in a large number by highly automated metal oxide semiconductor fabrication processes, resulting in a low unit price. So these are the some small history about the microprocessor. I will tell you the some things about the microprocessor. In the microprocessor, we have a computer technology that have a 16-bit and 32-bit microprocessor by Intel in 1970s. 4-bit microprocessor आ गया था 4004 in 1971. 8-bit का 8008 in 1972. 8-bit 8080 and 8085 in 1975. और 16-bit 8088 and 8086. फेमस IBM PC पेंटियम 1993 में आया, पेंटियम 2 1997 में आया, सेलेरॉन एंड पेंटियम 3 1999 में आया. देन पेंटियम 4 in 2000, 64-bit इंटेनियम in 2001 and latest 64-bit पेंटियम 4 and Xenon in 2005. अभी वैसे वैसे वर्जन बढ़ते गए, जैसे कि i3, i4, i5, कोर i3, ये बहुत सारे प्रोसेसर अभी लेटेस्ट में आ चुके हैं. सो दीज आर द सम ऑफ द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द माइक्रोप्रोसेसर. ओके, so you can see the diagram. In the diagram you can see the input devices, In the microprocessor include the ALU, control unit and register array. And then we have some memory unit where we can store the data, and after that you will get some output. For that we require the output devices. Okay. So the first point is that a microprocessor consists of an ALU, control unit and register array. ALU performs the arithmetic and logical operations on the data received from an input devices or a memory. Control unit controls the instruction and flow of a data within the computer. अब ALU में सारे अरिथमेटिक और लॉजिकल ऑपरेशंस रहते हैं कि कैसे डेटा रिसीव्ड हो रहा है, कैसे रिट्राई हो रहा है, इनपुट क्या जा रहा है, कहाँ पे मेमोरी में स्टोर्ड हो रहा है. अब कंट्रोल यूनिट में क्या हो रहा है, वहाँ पे इंस्ट्रक्शन एंड फ्लो ऑफ द डेटा कैसे जा रहा है कंप्यूटर का, वो दिखाई दे रहा है. एंड रजिस्टर एरे कंसिस्ट ऑफ द रजिस्टर्स that are identified a letters like B, C, D, E, H, L and accumulator, A for the accumulator. Okay. Next is your evaluation of a microprocessor. First generation, in the first generation we have a 4-bit microprocessor. The first generation microprocessor were introduced in year 1971-1972 by Intel Corporation. It was named Intel 4004 since it was a 4-bit processor. वो 4-bit processor था, इसलिए उसे नाम था 4004. Next, second generation we have a 8-bit microprocessor. The second generation microprocessor were introduced in 1973 again by Intel. It was a first 8-bit microprocessor which could perform arithmetic and logical operation. अब जो फर्स्ट 4-बिट इंट्रोड्यूस किया तभी आपका कोई लॉजिकल एंड अरिथमेटिक ऑपरेशन नहीं था, वहाँ पे सिर्फ सिंपल ऑपरेशंस ही चला करते थे. यहाँ पे कोई एडिशन कैलकुलेटिव नहीं था 4-बिट के माइक्रो प्रोसेसर में, वहाँ पे सिर्फ डेटा सेंड और रिट्राइव होता था. इन द सेकेंड जनरेशन वी स्टार्टेड विथ द अरिथमेटिक कैलकुलेशन लाइक एडिशन, सब्ट्रैक्शन, multiplication, it's like that. So, and logical operation on 8-bit words. It was Intel 8008 and other improved version was Intel 8088. Okay, ये दो वर्जन आए थे इन 8-bit microprocessor. थर्ड जनरेशन हैव अ 16-bit microprocessor. जैसे जैसे जनरेशन बढ़ते गए वैसे वैसे द साइज इन द बिट माइक्रोप्रोसेसर का बढ़ता गया, द कैलकुलेशन लेवल, द लॉजिक लेवल बढ़ती गई, द एफिशिएंसी आर मोर गुड इन द माइक्रोप्रोसेसर. The third generation microprocessor introduced in 1978 represented by Intel's 8086, Zilog Z800 and 802X6, which were 16-bit microprocessor with a performance like a mini computers. Okay. उसके बाद 3 जनरेशन के बाद 4th generation we have a 32-bit microprocessor. Several different companies introduced the 32-bit microprocessor, but the most popular one is the Intel 80386. ऐसे बहुत सारी कंपनीज थे, उन्होंने माइक्रोप्रोसेसर जनरेट किया. जैसे जैसे माइक्रोप्रोसेसर की साइज बढ़ते गई बिट वाइज, वैसे वैसे उनका efficiency level and the solving of the data is more good and efficient. Last is your 5th generation. Now we have a 6th, 7th and lot of generation, lot of Pentium processor has to become. So the 5th generation 64-bit microprocessor. From 1995 to now we are in the 5th generation. After 80856, Intel came out with a new processor, namely Pentium processor, followed by Pentium Pro CPU, which allows the multiple CPUs in a single system to achieve multiprocessing. Other improved 64-bit are Celeron, Dual, Quad, octa-core processor. उसके बाद then i3, then i5, then i7, then now there is a core i3. So these are the evaluation of the microprocessor. So we can see that. Next we can see what are the types of microprocessor. The types of microprocessor, we have a complex instruction set of microprocessor, reduced instruction set microprocessor, superscalar microprocessor, the application specific integrated circuit, and we have a digital signal multiprocessor. So this for your understanding what are the types of microprocessor. Next is your classification of a microprocessor. In the classification we can see that in the microprocessor we have two, general purpose processor GPP, and application specific processor. In general purpose processor, we have a general purpose application and a microcontroller, that is an industrial application. In ASP, we have digital signal processor, that is for a programmable microprocessor for extensive numerical real-time computation. Next is your ASIP, application specific instruction set processor. This is used for a programmable microprocessor where hardware and instruction set are designed together for a one special application. Third one is your ASIC, application specific integrated circuit. It's for algorithm completely implemented in a hardware. पहला जो था वहाँ पे we can do a simple calculation. Next में you are doing the hardware and instruction set are used for the together for one special application. ASIC, application specific integrated circuit, it is for the algorithm. And what are the requirement for the microprocessor? High performance, low cost and low power consumption. These are the classification of the microprocessor. Now next we will start with the 8086 16-bit microprocessor. So your main motto and the main concentration is a 8086 16-bit microprocessor. So we will start in a next video.